Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again. Right, it's the PS2's 15th anniversary, apparently. So, top 10 PS2 games, let's go for it. Now, it's funny, right? PS2 is my favourite Sony console ever, you know, like more than PS3, PS1, all that jazz. But coming up with 10 games was surprisingly hard, and I'm not meaning like there was so much to choose from, I mean like it was hard to find like games that meant a lot to me personally. I don't know what the deal with that was, because like you tell me to do that for like the Dreamcast or something, it's like, oh, that, you know. I don't know, I think it's because a majority of the games I played on the PS2, you know, back when I was younger, most of them were like multiplats, and, you know, I also was very, like, how do I put this? I was very closed-minded when it came to games back when I was like in high school or something, you know. I would only ever play like platformers or stuff or things from certain genres. I'd like to think that when I got into college and that, you know, when the PS3 was about, I was a bit more diverse with my stuff, you know. I don't know, it was just surprisingly hard, but I've got 10 games here and we're going to talk about them. And they're not in any order, incidentally, I'm just wanting to talk about them. Also, I'm only going to include games that were very personal to me on the PS2, you know. There might be games that I played, multiplats that I played on other consoles or something. So, yeah, let's start. Now, I think... Yeah, it's Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, that's fucking obvious, you know, this is me we're talking about. I'm quite pleased, by the way, you know, when I started doing Let's Plays and that, and I did Ratchet and Clank, you know, this was one of my first Let's Plays that I did, I think I was definitely, like, the Ratchet and Clank guy on YouTube at one point. Maybe not anymore, probably not anymore, but I was at one point, and I remember putting in, like, Ratchet and Clank into YouTube's search bar, and my Let's Play was the first thing that showed up. I remember, brilliant, you know, that made me, you know, really pleased and stuff. Yes, we are recording, just checking. But yeah, this was a game I picked up like day one when it came out. It was November 2002. Nearly 13 years ago, that's half my life, holy shit. But yeah, this was, I remember my best friend, he like had a demo for Ratchet and Clank, and he would like play it on his PS2, and I would just watch him like, can I have a shot? And he was like, no. My best friend was a dick. But I immediately went out and actually bought the magazine that had the demo in it, and I went home and I played it to death. Because I don't know what it was, it grabbed me instantly, because I was always a fan of those sort of like mascot platformers, you know? And yeah, it was love at first sight, it really fucking was. I've played it so many times, and you know, this isn't my favourite in the series. My favourite in the series is 3, definitely. But, you know, this was the first one, so it's kind of... It is definitely very special to me, you know, and marks an important time in my PS2 thing, I guess, you know. But, yeah, I've been a faithful fan ever since, you know. Well, I say faithful fan, I didn't play All for One or fucking Full Frontal Assault, was it? I can't even remember. It was weird, you know, Ratchet and Clank's been kind of off to me over the past, like, 5 years, ever since A Crack in Time came out. But the first one, always going to be loved by me, absolutely. And, you know, it's you can't really talk about that platforming franchise without talking about this one, Jak and Daxter. Now, I actually remember I only played this game, right, because everywhere I went, every magazine I read, every website I went to, kept talking about Jak and Daxter when they were talking about Ratchet and Clank. You know, they were talking about the platforming duo, brother to Jak and Daxter. I'm like, what the fuck is Jak and Daxter? I researched a little bit, okay, makers of Crash Bandicoot. Some dude with a little Crash Bandicoot, that's what I thought at first. I remember, I thought that was just like a weird version of whatever Crash was. You know, that was Daxter, obviously. But I went and picked the game up, and I remember I actually got this after Ratchet and Clank came out. And I was just waiting for Ratchet 2 to come out, and I'm like, I want our platformer to play in the meantime. So I just picked this up, played it to absolute death. And yeah, it's definitely not as good as Ratchet and Clank, you know, the series as a whole anyway, to me. But this first one was a really good time had. And see, the other ones were as well, you know, Jak 2 and Jak 3. But I've kind of went off them, admittingly. I don't know, I really hate to admit that, because there were people that used to come at me and say, oh, Jak 2 is actually shite, or Jak 3 is actually shite. And typically the response was, well, they made it all dark and serious and that. And I'm like, that doesn't make it bad, it just makes it different. But, well, let's put it this way, right? When the Ratchet and Clank HD Trilogy came out for PS3, I got all 3 Platinum trophies in a week, you know? When the Jak and Daxter HD Trilogy came out, for this game, I got the Platinum Trophy in one sitting. Seriously, I just sat down, got 100% instantly. It was, I've played this game so many times. And I didn't even finish Jak 2. I couldn't do it. I don't know, it was frustrating, you know, and it still does hold a special place in my heart, nostalgically, you know, Jak 2 and 3, but I don't really look back on it as fondly as I do Ratchet and Clank, you know. I actually even prefer another platforming franchise that you might be familiar with, that being Sly Cooper. Now, I'm not including Sly Cooper in this list because I didn't actually really truly enjoy Sly Cooper on the PS2, you know. I remember I bought the game because, again, you know, it kept constantly getting talked about in affiliation to Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter, so I'm like, okay, I'll have to try this out. I got Sly 1, played it, sort of liked it, and I actually just remember trading it in instantly, because I used to do that a lot. And then I got Sly 2, and I remember really not liking it. Like, I think I talked about this in my Let's Play, but there was just something about Sly 2 that rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know what it was. But then I picked up the HD Trilogy, got 2 Platinum trophies. I would have gotten 3, but Sly 3 asks you to do all these like little missions and stuff, and I was like, nah, fuck that. Which is weird because Sly 3 was easily my favourite. But yeah, I went back to Sly 1, it was as good as I remember. I came to appreciate Sly 2 for what it was, you know, and Sly 3 was just the best one as far as I'm concerned. So that's kind of a PS3 experience for me, you know, not necessarily on the PS2. One platforming franchise that is like a really sort of special thing for me though is this right here. Klonoa 2. Lunatea's Veil. I always forget how to pronounce that fucking thing, but yeah, it's how did I come across Klonoa? It was before that Wii remake got announced, you know, like, yeah, the first game got remade for the Wii. You should really check that out, that's really good. And they all play exactly the same, but I can't... What was it that got me into this? I'm really not sure. I think I just picked this up. I just saw it in the shops. I used to see it in the shops all the time, and I'm just like... Because it looks like a Sonic character, you know, that's... I hear that comparison a lot, and he does, you know? But I remember just seeing it when I was, like, just looking for a platformer, and I'm like, alright, let's pick this up. And, god damn it is quite a special game, I must say, you know, it's one of those games that... Okay, I hate saying this, because it's always just a very personal thing, but it was quite feelsy, you know? It was very feelsy, in fact, and... You know, it's a game that I can, like... It's a very therapeutic game as well. I feel like no matter what my mood is, I can pop this in and just play it with no bother. You know, it was a... It's really not that hard, for example, and you can just play it and be like, oh, this is brilliant, you know? And, yeah, what else can I say? I'm really sad that Klonoa is kind of dead now. You know, we were going to get a remake of this one for, like, the Wii. If they were to do that for, like, the Wii U, you know, go for it, Namco, you know. Or Klonoa 3, why the fuck not? But that's kind of unlikely. But you know what? At least we got a couple of really good games out of it. So that's definitely one of my favourite PS2 games right there. Right, now this one, I'm surprised I was just looking through this. You know how I was saying that I was finding it hard to find games that really meant something to me personally on the PS2? It's still so weird that I'm saying that, considering how much I've played this fucking console. I spent all my time playing Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter. That's the problem, you know? But yeah, this was definitely like a series that I was late to come to, and I haven't played many of the earlier ones, but this one game was the best in the series by far, and I've not even taken like the pre-owned sticker from GameStation off. Tony Hawk's Underground. Now, Tony Hawk's 4 was a game that my brother got, and I remember thinking, nah, I'm not fussed about that, because again, I was really closed-minded back in the day of PS2, and I just kind of refused to play it, but I don't know what it was. I started playing it and I got really into it. You know, I was very into like doing combos and doing all the missions and exploring the levels and stuff. And Thug, you know, Tony Hawk's Underground, you know, that's how I always referred to it, that was kind of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, but better, you know? It had a proper story mode, which was like surprisingly great and hilarious. I loved like the music in the game, you know. I got into a lot of bands from this music, like Kiss. You know, I started listening to Kiss because there was actually a stage based around them in this game, you know. Well, sort of. I think the level is called Hotter Than Hell, and if you collect all the Kiss letters, they actually like play a song for you. And I remember thinking that was really cool. And I played online with it as well, you know. This and Ratchet and Clank 3 were the only games for the PS2 that I played online with any regularity, you know. And what was brilliant is you could like, even on like your custom parks, you know, because there's a park editor in this game, and there has been in most of the Tony Hawk's games, you know, you can actually play with those online, and the sort of stuff that you would see sometimes was brilliant, you know. But yeah, again, you know, Tony Hawk's has kind of gotten since then. But yeah, this one was definitely, you know, I'm just looking at this too. Yeah, you could actually put your face in the game, which was like, did anyone actually do that? Because that was like it seems like a really weird thing, you know. I remember you had to like send your face to the developer and make your own tricks. You know, they went all out. They went fucking all out with this one, and it just kind of went downhill afterwards. And that's how I feel about it anyway. But definitely that. Now, let's talk about this one next. Now, let's talk PS1 here, right? What's the genre that console is really good at, basically? JRPGs, you know, and I fucking love JRPGs, and PS2 is a no short supply of JRPGs as well. Which is weird, since when I think about ones that, like, were really big favourites of mine, I can actually only think of two. And, again, I'm thinking to myself, really, Donald? You're just, like... You can only think of two JRPGs that you really liked, and I don't know, maybe I've just not, like, embraced the PS2's library enough, and... Yeah, it's like, but the two I can think of was actually Tales of the Abyss, which I only played on the 3DS a few years ago and fucking loved, became a big Tales of fan that way. But the other one was this, Dark Chronicle. If you live in America, this is called Dark Cloud 2. Now, Dark Cloud 1 was the first PlayStation 2 game I ever played. I played it at my best friend's house, and I remember just absolutely loving it. And it's weird because Dark Cloud 1's actually... It's kind of an okay game, you know, it's not brilliant. It's from Level 5, which has went on to become one of my favourite developers, you know. But this was one that they went all out on, you know. It's they took everything that was in the first game, you know, like the building towns, the randomised dungeons, and just went with it completely, you know. There's just so much to do in this game, you know, like so many side quests, so many like little optional shit that you can do. And on top of all that, it's just got a really, really good story to it. You know, Max and Monica, the adventures that they have jumping between time periods. You know, it was Chrono Trigger-esque, I guess. You know, things that you would, about jumping between two periods of time. But, yeah, this was one that was a lot more special to me. Really good soundtrack as well. I gotta mention that also. I'm really hoping Level 5 is supposed to be announcing a new game for PS4, and... Don't make it White Knight Chronicles 3, okay? White Knight Chronicles was shit, I'm sorry. I remember I thought I liked it at one point, but I don't. But if you make it Dark Cloud 3, yeah, maybe? I don't know, just speculation, but whatever. Right, now, this game was the first game I ever played on PS2. In fact, I remember it came bundled with the PS2 that I bought. And I didn't have a memory card at the time, and I would just play it constantly, and I even got to the point where I could actually beat it in one sitting, you know, because it was just so long that I did it without it, and that was Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. Now, a lot of you are like, wait, 2? Why not Metal Gear Solid 3? Because a lot of people typically prefer that, you know, a lot of people really don't like this game and stuff, you know, but I do. This is just my favourite one, what can I say? What I'll say about it, right, is, you know, Metal Gear Solid 1 was obviously a legendary game, you know, like, I remember going to my best friend's house and playing that all the time. And when this game was said to come out, you know, we were just both like, oh my god, yes, yes, yes. And I played this at his house a lot as well, you know, before I got my own PS2. And when you look at Metal Gear Solid 3 and 4, which are brilliant games in their own right, they kind of did something on their own, you know. Snake Eater was all about survival in the jungle and stuff, whereas Guns of the Patriots was all about like being on the battlefield and having to stealth about a interactive battlefield. You know, that's the vibe I got from it anyway. Whereas this one wasn't really its own thing. It was just the first game if it had better technology, and for some reason I can really appreciate that. And, you know, just the amount of detail in this game, like, I just remember spending so much time playing about with the guard's AI, you know, it's insane how advanced it was, especially for the time. You know, games these days are hardly live up to it, you know, and, but yeah, this is just always gonna be my favourite Metal Gear. It will be. I can pop it in. I don't mind riding. I don't mind riding in the slightest. Got a big Metal Gear Rising thing over there, actually. Wall scroll thingy, and yeah. And to me, Metal Gear Solid 5, I'm actually not that hyped for that game. You know, it doesn't look or feel like Metal Gear to me, you know. It's like, Metal Gear Solid ended with 4, as far as I'm concerned. You know, like, I'll probably pick it up if it's good, which it probably will be, let's be fair. But, to me, it's not gonna, like, ruin anything for me. You know, I'm not gonna get all fanboy bitchy if it turns out not to be exactly what I want, because as far as I'm concerned, in terms of Metal Gear, I've got exactly what I want. 4 amazing games, and this second one being my favourite, so Metal Gear Solid 2. Right, next up we have a couple of survival horror franchises. I'm trying to think, which one is my favourite? Like, even right now I'm just sort of thinking, which one? Sod it, we'll talk about this one first. Silent Hill 2, hell yes, in this lovely, like, collector's edition box thing they got. Now, for the longest time, and even right now, okay, I've been debating with myself whether this one or Silent Hill 3 is my favourite in the series, okay? Because the first 3 and 4 as well. 4, I enjoyed 4, you know, a lot of people are a bit iffy on it. It wasn't until after that that the series kind of lost its credibility a wee bit, you know? And Shattered Memories for the Wii, that was a good one. I like that one. And obviously that Silent Hills game that's coming out, that will be special. That'll be very, very special. But yeah, I guess this one is the winner. You know, I had a friend back in the day, he had Silent Hill, and I used to be like really pish. I like couldn't play survival horror games like Resident Evil and the original Silent Hill, you know, I just couldn't play them. I actually really used to enjoy watching people play them though, but I could never play them myself. It wasn't until like, I remember the game to break that trend for me was Resident Evil Code Veronica for the Dreamcast. So upon thinking to myself, okay, I can play survival horror games now, alright, I went to sought after the Silent Hill games because I remember playing the original so much. And this one, yeah, there's a... I think what's actually put this over Silent Hill 3 for me is how much this game gets talked about, you know, like fan theories and stuff, and like analysing the game. Even like so many years after it's came out, people are still analysing the symbolism and the story and what it all means, you know? And for something like that, that's really special, you know? Like, I could pop this game in right now and like maybe notice something that I never noticed before and get a whole new different experience out of it. And that, of course, is just fucking terrifying, you know? This is one of the scariest games on the PS2, but is it my favourite survival horror game on the PS2? Maybe. Or maybe it's this. Let's look at this. Okay, maybe not this one particularly, but I'll talk about it anyway. Project 01. I got it for £3, holy shit. Yeah, I need to peel that off. Now, I'm holding this up actually because I don't currently own Project 02 for the PS2. It's where I originally played it, but I ended up losing that copy and I've got it on the original Xbox. And I've also got the Wii remake that they released, what was that, just a couple of years ago, only in Europe sadly, which is pretty annoying. But this one, I remember my best friend showing me previews of this, because again, he used to get shitloads of like gaming magazines with DVDs with like trailers and all that on them, and those were like good times, you know. And used to just keep hearing about this game, a survival horror game where you don't have guns or that, you're just a girl with a camera. And I remember thinking, okay, I'll try it. And I picked it up, and sure enough, it's really, really good. This is my favourite survival horror franchise. Sorry, Silent Hill, but this gets it, you know. I've played all of them. I've played 3, which is alright, you know, people are a bit iffy on 3, but it's okay. And 4, I actually got to play the fan-translated version of that on my Wii, because it never fucking came out outside Japan. Still really pissed about that. I never played that Camera Obscura, or whatever the hell was it, Spirit Camera, the Cursed Memoir for the 3DS. Never fucking played that. Fuck that, you know. And right now there's Project Zero 5 out there on the Wii U in Japan. It uses the Wii U gamepad like a camera. You hold it about, it does exactly what I wanted it to do, and they're not bringing it out. They might. They better. I want some Project Zero. Nintendo. Should fucking do it. I mean, I remember actually when Mio and Mayu, the 2 main characters from Project Zero 2, were shown off to be trophies in Smash Brothers. You know, I just remember seeing that screenshot, looking at it and be like, oh yes, it was, you know, just seeing that screenshot of the 2 of them actually in the game. It was better than most of the newcomers for me, honestly. But yeah, I'm getting off topic here. This game, terrifying, really. Second one's better, but this is the one that started it, and yeah, I really want to see it continued, absolutely. Right, next one is... Yeah, it's Ico. Yeah, you all know I adore this game, and the reason I was sort of thinking about there is how can I segue into talking about this when I don't have Shadow of the Colossus here with it? Well, Shadow of the Colossus is one of my all-time favourite games as well, you know, but I like to stick with one game per series here, and the honour of that just goes to Ico. What can I say? This game just speaks to me. It does, you know, it's like the more and more I think about Ico as time goes on, as I get older, you know, like I've been playing this game for over 10 years now, you know, it was the second PS2 game I ever owned, you know. I just love the idea of 2 people, you know, a young boy and a girl, who can't understand each other, who are both alone in a castle, and they just help each other, you know, without condition, you know, I just get the feeling that they're both like, they're just that lonely in this castle and that scared that they just turn to each other, and each of them are just, you know, only too happy to give them the support they need, you know, and it's like, it's heartwarming, you know, it's good, it puts a lot of faith in humanity, that shit, you know, and that and the fact that it's a really good, like, sort of puzzle game as well, you know. I remember I played this on the PS3, because they did a HD version of it along with Shadow of the Colossus. There was a trophy on it for beating this game in 2 hours. I got it. It took me like 8 tries to actually get it, but I did it. That's how much I really love this game. And you know, not to go off topic here or that, but I'm just sort of thinking of the controversy surrounding like The Order 1886 right now, about how it's only 5 hours long apparently, and everybody's sort of taken that and used it as an excuse to hate this game. Well, here's a game that I can beat in 2 hours, and I would gladly pay 40 quid for it, you know, or whatever amount of money, because it's an experience I'll take to the grave. So I always think about this when I think length doesn't always matter. It's not that it doesn't matter at all, but it doesn't always matter, you know. So yeah, Shadow of the Colossus is obviously still a really big favourite of mine as well, but this one is just, it's too special, you know. Now, this one is, see, I just felt like ending the video on this one, because this is not only one of my all-time favourite games, but could maybe be, my favourite PS2 game is Ratchet and Clank 3, but, I don't know, it's Guitaroo Man. I fucking love this game, you know. It's, I don't know, I don't know, it's just very, very special to me, okay? Again, going back to the whole length thing, this game is very short, you know, very hard, very, like, it's a button-mashing sort of rhythm game. But all the characters in it, just the music as well, obviously the music, it's something I'm going to take with me forever, you know? I remember I got this, I got Grand Theft Auto Vice City for my birthday one year. I was 14, okay? So obviously I wasn't supposed to be playing it, but my dad bought it for me anyway. And I remember, like, for whatever reason, I wasn't really digging Vice City. I don't know why, I just wasn't. Again, sort of closed-minded, but I remember hearing a lot about this game, which my best friend showed me as well, and I was playing guitar at that point as well, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a shot, and the rest is history. It's just just a very, very special game to me, and you can get this on the PSP as well, although I wouldn't really recommend playing it on the PSP, because you've got to use, like, the analog stick a lot, and the friggin' PSP's analog nub thing is shit, and so you're better off playing it here. Why this game hasn't been re-released in HD or whatever, I don't know. Koei... Oh wait, THQ, oh dear. Yeah, well, Koei, you did a great job on this. It's like, I don't know why I'm ending it on this one, but it's just... It's one of my favourites anyway, so... But that's that, you know, PS2, happy 15th anniversary, you know, and the thing is, I've only bitten into your library, you know, and there's still so many PS2 games out there that I still need to get around. Like, I gotta get through the rest of, like, the Xenosaga games. I've only ever played the first one. What else? There's just, there's so much here. Yeah, it's just... I'll be busy. I'll be busy for a long time with this console. My favourite Sony console, without question. Yeah, that's that, guys. See you after. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.